So I don't think DL's on the call. I was going to give him a warning before we did the KV core because I know he wanted to go over.
I'll text him.
Kind of. No, that's all right. I got something else tonight, so.
Oh, okay.
I'll just let him know. Maybe for next week we'll do a KV core training, kind of like basic training,
Okay.
from A to Z to kind of get set up, and then I'll make sure that he's on there because that was his request. I had a couple agents ask me how I do my auto searches on the MLS and set up that system. And I know I've shown some of you, but I don't think everyone's seen kind of how I do that. Has anyone seen kind of the auto search system through the MLS or have questions on it? This won't really, it'll apply to you, Nate, but it'll just be on a different MLS, right? So you can kind of see how the system works and kind of my thought process behind it. So let me see. Can I share my screen, Jeff?
Yeah, I just unlocked it. I think this is a great topic. I mean, because it's kind of where it all starts, right? Certain homes are going to be invisible if we do this wrong.
Right. Yep. So let's see. Can you guys see buyer questionnaire? Is that what you're looking at?
Yep.
Okay. I've uploaded a buyer questionnaire before. This one I just found a few weeks ago that is more specific to buyers. I can upload that in the Marchant group as well, if you like, but it's really specific to realtors and finding out exactly what you need, the information that you need to get a search going. So it's really an interesting time right now because of what's going on in the market. I was talking to Troy Critchfield earlier today. He's been working with a buyer for the last week, and they've looked at houses every single day. They've put in offers on multiple properties, and they're just really struggling with, multiple offer situations. And, it's tough. It's tough right now just because there's low inventory. So your search and how you do it is really important, and how quickly you get those properties to people or to buyers. This one has kind of all the important questions on there, but I do like, we've got, a question on here. Tell me a little bit about your dream home. Getting your potential buyer to kind of open up about different topics and what they really look for in a house. So I'm not going to spend any time on this, but I just wanted to kind of show it to you. And if you guys would like me to upload it, I can certainly do that. You can just print it off and use it kind of as a template. So I'm going to jump in here to the MLS here. So when we log into the search, we're going to do a full residential search. And I'm not going to do a lot on the actual search today because we've talked about that before, and you guys all know how to do searches. But just jump in if you have questions on what I'm doing. Has anybody not done this before?
Your screen hasn't changed yet, Eric. I think reshare the other tab or browser. We're still looking at the buyer questionnaire.
Let's try that again. How's that?
It's pulling up. It's not showing anything yet.
It's not showing the MLS?
You've shared your screen sharing, but it's black.
How strange.
You guys are seeing the same thing, right? Hey, Kim, welcome.
Thanks. I'm going to hop on my computer in the house. I've been running around picking up kids from work and stuff. You guys told me to walk home. Whatever.
That was perfect.
I love it.
I'm having some issues here with my monitor, my screen. Okay, hold on one second. I'm going to try something real quick. Okay. Sorry, guys.
No worries. So guys, so don't mean to jump back to the training today, but I wanted to remind you of the name of that book that I read. In fact, when I started, well, I listened to the audio. It's Ninja Selling. You guys got to look that up. Totally worth it. I 100% believe, and mainly because it kind of mirrors what I do anyway, that you could model your whole business around that book. It's all about referral-based business relationships. You'll really, really enjoy it. In fact, when I started listening to it after DL had recommended it, I said to Lynn and to some other people, I said, some of you guys that have heard me talk about my listing presentation, some of the things they sell, you probably wouldn't believe that I haven't read that book before. As you read it, it resonated with me, and it was some of the things, it was validation for some of the things that I fortunately do anyway. But a lot of value in that. Even if you listen to it on audio while you're driving around or working out or whatever, like I do, or get the book, it'd be well worth it.
What was the name of the book again?
Ninja Selling. And you know, to be honest, I've heard of it for quite some time, but I don't like titles with selling in the title that in my opinion, I guess I just judge it and think it's going to be too much on sales, too much on, you know, persuasion and getting people to come around to what you want them to believe. And I come from a different position where I want to find out what they want. I don't want to try and convince them that what I want is better. Does that make sense? And so I kind of have ignored it, and I'm glad that DL brought it up again. Oh yeah, so you're reading that too. Good. Yep, Larry Kendall, that's the one. Thanks, Brenton. Great book.
Is this it? Can you see that?
Yep, that's the cover of it.
Okay, thanks.
Hear that, guys? We're about to be ninjas. About to go
Yeah.
down. I'm always trying to find some new book to read or a new some kind of conversation. Just
Yeah.
constantly trying to learn some new stuff anyway, you know.
That's got to be one of the top of my list, you know, now that I've listened to it. Couple other ones that I've listened to lately, since we're talking about books, especially with the beginning of the year, is the 1% rule. And it just talks about making small incremental improvements in all areas of your life, and it compounds, right? And the other one is the 12-week year, breaking down your goals and your action plans into quarters instead of annual plans. A lot of good stuff in that one too.
Okay.
What can you see, guys?
Yep, that worked.
You got the MLS?
Yep.
Perfect. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. So yeah, let's just jump in real quick here. We're going to do full search on the MLS, and I'm just going to make up a generic buyer here. And like I said, stop me if you have specific questions on what I'm doing. Putting in the list price here on our search. And I'm going to start with a single family property. And I'm going to look in Salt Lake County. And I've got 25 properties right here. This part is
refresh your screen, Eric. Sorry to keep interrupting you.
Is it just not working?
It's just showing active properties, 2,300. It didn't show your other inputs. It froze somehow.
I don't know what's going on tonight.
Sounds like it's getting stage fright.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense that you're seeing something different than we are. That is kind of strange.
Okay, is it back yet?
No, it's still the same.
Is it Okay. How many active properties do you see?
2336.
I have no idea what's going on, but it's not refreshing.
Oh, even on your end.
No, it's working on my end. It's not sharing properly. It's not reloading. And I already logged out of Zoom. That's really bizarre.
I don't know if this will work, but do you want me to try and pull up the MLS and you can
Yeah, let's do that.
put in? Let me open my browser.
Yeah, I'm definitely having issues on my end for sure. It's maybe I need to restart my system. I haven't done that in a while, so I don't know.
Eric, I love your hat, man. Honestly, it's clean as hell. I love it.
Jeff's got a pretty cool new one too, I've seen.
Oh yeah,
Yes, Sydney got me a couple for Christmas that are pretty badass.
nice. I
Uh,
love hats.
I got way too much stuff open.
Sorry about this, guys. I don't know why my system isn't working right. Basically, you know what we want to. Part of what I do is when I do a search for a buyer, I'll save that search for them and I'll have that search go directly to them. But I also have it sent to myself, so I can keep track of all those properties as well. So I duplicate it for myself, and I stay on top of those really on an hourly basis. And I'll explain how I do that. But okay, we can do that.
What's your fields you wanted to put in there?
350 to 400 is fine, or 350 to 450. Okay, it's working on yours. It's definitely my system. I was going to do Salt Lake County. Yep. So that's good enough. We can do the search part of it later, but what I want to do is save this search. So you can save it.
Save the search or listing report?
Save the search. So we can save this search and you can name it whatever you like. You know, you just call it test or whatever. And you can actually put that in the description too. So I copy and paste it and just drop it right below. And then if you don't have a client in there, I hit that add new client button. So you can actually go ahead and hit that and just put my information in there. And then you can just type in ericjonesut@gmail.com. And notice how it says send connection invitation. That's already pre-checked. So hit save client and it's going to send an invite to join a connection on the MLS. Now, the reason this is important is because if they connect to you, then they can get the automatic search and not just this one search of properties. So this allows the system to do an automatic search.
And I always tell people the way I explain it is like, hey, I'm going to send you an invitation to make a connection with me on Utah Real Estate because the computer is going to send you automated emails and it needs to know it's not spam. So they're basically just like accepting, yes, I agree to get these emails. So I just hit send email.
Yep. So now go up to your clients under your address book. And then the one that you just sent, you'll notice that it says pending. So this is how you check and see if I have accepted it or not. So you know right now I'm not going to get those automatic emails until that connection is made. So that's really important to stay on top of, because now we're going to go back to that same search and we're going to create an auto search. Let's see, probably just, yeah, save search.
What did I name it? I thought I named it Eric's test.
I thought so too.
Okay, not saved it all the way.
Maybe just go all the way back. See if it'll still pop up.
Oh, so right here, I put you in there and I hit send, but I probably
hit save.
hit save right here.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that,
So now it's going to pop you right back to the same search. So you just saved the search, sent me an invitation. Now we're going to do a create listing alert right next to the save search. And what this does is it's going to send out the new properties on a daily basis. So I usually name this daily search, and I'll put my name in it just like that. Eric's daily search for homes. And the reason I do that is because I send them to myself and I get those emails and I want to know who they're for. So I actually do that for myself.
in the name up here, you put
In the subject. Yep.
the down here.
Sorry. Yep. In the subject, I'll actually put Eric's new home search or Eric's daily search.
So I also want to comment that if you're not re-linking it to your website, the best option in here, if you scroll back up towards the top, you want to click on the one that says your realtor branded website. It looks more professional, looks a lot better than the other option that's showing there.
Awesome. Thanks, Kim. Love that. So now that that search is set up, now if you scroll down just a little bit, Jeff, it'll give you a bunch of options here. So you have an express alert. Now you're limited to 15 of these, but this is as soon as a property comes out, it'll ping and send off to that agent immediately. I mean, to that client immediately, anytime a new property pulls up. The daily search, you can actually choose the hour of day and you can choose as many as you want. So I used to always do 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. and you can select a couple of them there. But it just kind of depends on your client. I mean, how active are they searching? Are they out of town and you're just sending it to them, once a day so they can kind of get a feel for the market when they're ready to move here in a couple months? You're not going to want to hit them with every single one. So maybe once a day is fine. But depending on how active they are, I will do an express alert, or I'll do 3 or 4 times on that search each time. And then notice too that you can do your, if you scroll down just a little bit, Jeff, you can do the email options where you can actually send it to me as well. So you're sending it to the select clients and you're sending it to me. So what I've done is in my iPhone, when I get this email, like if I send this and I get it tomorrow, I'll get the email from Utah Real Estate, and I've saved it as one of my favorite emails. And I changed the settings in my iPhone to pop up on my screen. So it'll show up on my phone, just like a regular text. So it'll be an email and it'll say from Utah Real Estate. So when I see that, it'll say Utah Real Estate Eric's daily search. So I actually know when a new property comes out all the time for my new client. So even if I'm doing something, I'm not looking at my email, I can grab that real quick and take a quick look at that property. And I know that what that buyer is looking for. I know they got it at the exact same moment, but I can call them or text them and say, hey, you just got an email on a new property I think we should take a look at. So it does a few things. It shows your buyer that you are really on top of it and you're doing active searches for them all the time. But it makes sure that you don't miss something as well,
So
or they don't miss something.
Can you also touch on these different options? Rachel's asking me about that. And the
Oh, yeah.
reason why I mentioned the real estate one is because realtor.com gives you a branded website,
Mhm.
and that's more professional looking. And I think you can click on it and show her what the difference is between this one and the other options. And then I don't know, Eric, if maybe you're going to teach them what you taught me, where we go in and go into our EXP website and relink them so that we can track when they're looking at them. Because that's
Yep.
the downside. I mean, the MLS is great, it gives us a website, but we have no idea when they're actually going in and clicking and looking at anything. So it's better to do it the other way. But Rachel was just asking about the more professional. If you don't have time to do that relinking, that is your best one because it looks better than any of the other options.
I love that, Kim. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Just trying to think, since I can't share my screen, I don't know if I can if you could send it to me, Jeff, and I can pop it up and show everyone. But yeah, that's a great example.
Well, send you what?
Maybe if you save it and open up your email, you can kind of look what that branded website looks like on your end.
Well, I don't have one, so
Okay.
that would be linked to me though.
Yep.
And I don't have one, so I usually just do this one.
Okay. Yeah, I do too. So that's a great option to look into as well.
Don't you guys
So-
have them by default? Because I didn't think I had one either.
I
think-
wouldn't know. I don't go to realtor.com.
I think you do, Kim. I think you're right. It has the realtor.com branding on the end of it, right? Yeah. So it does look a little different. It looks better. I like that as well. I've seen that myself. I don't usually click on that, but something to certainly take a look at further. I think it's just a preference thing, you know. What Kim was touching on, yeah, I was actually going to share that as well. So there's a couple different trains of thought, and this is something that I've done for a lot of years. So when I'm working with a client that is really hot, and I'm really trying in a lot of ways to win over that client, to make sure that they know how active I am in working for them, I will set that search up and send it to myself only. And I have those alerts on my phone, so I know exactly when those properties come in, and I will get that property. And it'll only be one, maybe two, because I'm doing the express, so it's coming as they're coming in. So I'll get a ping at like 10:20 a.m. on my phone. I'll see it pop up. I'll open it up, and it'll be an MLS number. And if it's something I think that they're going to be interested in, what I do, Kim, is I go to my KV Core, and I, just like you said, in the search, I put that MLS number in and just hit enter, and it'll take me to my branded site on KV Core, and it'll just be that one property. And then I will send that link. I'll just copy and paste that link and send it right to them and say, hey, take a look at this property. And that works really well because you're sending them and they're landing on your KV Core site every time. And like Kim said, in the MLS, it's harder to see which properties they're looking at or how active they are. But on KV Core, it's amazing. You can see everything they do, every property they look at, how many times they come back and look at a certain property. And maybe we'll talk about that next week where we're touching on the KV Core piece. But it's a great option to send them to that instead, because it's the best looking site out there for sure. And all they have to do is register once, and then they don't have to log in every time. It'll just pop up on their phone or the computer every time. So it makes it super convenient. If I'm sending 10, 11 properties, it's a little, I don't know what the word is, but you have to copy and paste each MLS number and drop it in on KV Core. And I can show you that next week too, where you can just send them all at once, but you do have to copy each one individually. So when I'm doing the express search and I'm just doing one at a time, I'll just grab that one MLS and send them to my KV Core site. So any thoughts or
There's not too many popping up at the same time, is there?
No, no, inventory's low. And so, yeah, that reminds me of something else too, Jeff. So the first search I send, like that one had 44 properties on it. Maybe I'm going to send them 13 properties on the first shot, but the new ones that come up, I'm going to send them one at a time through my KV Core. Now, if I'm really busy and I'm working with, 5, 6 different clients at once, and I'm doing a bunch of showings, I don't want the client to miss out on something coming. So I do this, the kind of the CC option or the carbon copy option, where it sends it to me and them and not just me, because I don't want them to miss out because I miss it. But if you're a newer agent and you're working with one buyer or 2 buyers, and you've got some new clients and you want them to know how hard you're working, it's a great little trick to do that. And it's easy to set up. On your phone, so you get those alerts. All you have to do is favorite that Utah Real Estate email that comes in one time, because it'll come in the same every time. So I get them on my phone like 5 or 6, 7 times a day at least, where it's just pinging me all the time, where I know a new property is coming up. And another thing that's great about that is when your client calls you in an hour and says, "Hey, I saw this property, over on Spartan Way or something." You say, "Yeah, I looked at it too. It looks really good. I like the backyard. It's kind of what you're looking for." It keeps you updated on the market as well, which is fantastic. So a couple little tricks that I like to do to stay on top of it and make sure that the buyers know that I'm, searching for them. So do your main search first. Save the search and send the properties either through KV Core or the MLS, and then set up the auto search, and then decide if you want to do the auto search just to yourself or to your client. I certainly recommend that you don't send it just to your client and not CC yourself, because I like getting those emails coming in and showing me what properties that I sent them and what time they went out. And you can log into the MLS and see it too. Of course, that's just on your main homepage, but I like to get those emails sent to me so I see what they're getting. So
I have to say, I'm a little bit jealous of your MLS.
Nate, I've seen a lot of MLSs, and I understand that. We have a really nice one.
Yeah, it's easy. It looks easy to use and understand. Ours is a mess.
So
Yeah, I work with a couple mentees down in Kanab and St. George, and they're on some different MLSs, and I don't like it. I didn't know how nice ours was.
I don't think I have the option to send my clients mailings like that, like you're talking about doing. At least I haven't figured it out if it does, but I figured it out how to use hashtags, and KV Core do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I have a question. What's IDX? I know it's some type of software, but what is that?
IDX is basically the public MLS coding that you can embed into your personal website.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically the public search engine. And if you have that IDX, when you build your own website, you can just add it to your site, and it'll basically duplicate UtahRealEstate.com.
So I was on that website that Jeff invited me to, the club.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just listening to Glenn and a group of people talking, and he mentioned something that was, if I understood it correctly, very, very exciting. But he mentioned that they were putting together a national IDX website that's integrated with the KV Core. So it sounds like we'll be able to maybe have a nationwide MLS kind of a thing where we can all access everything that's put in. I don't know if it would be limited to just EXP agents or if it will be everybody, but it sounded very interesting and very exciting.
And it was with KV Core.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I wish Shantae was on the call right now, because we were talking about having like her she's on 2 or 3 different MLSs with one KV Core. So she's wanted to have those IDXs combined into one website. And I heard a couple months ago that KV Core was working on it, but they didn't have a time frame on the release. So that would be really cool if we had a national IDX for all the MLSs. That would be really unique.
They must be doing some sort of integration with Showcase IDX. That's the company that EXP bought. So that's another independent company that a lot of other brokerages use for their IDX feeds, and anybody can use it. An EXP agent can use it on their other websites too. And they get it for like 75 or 80% discount. So not 75 or 80% of the cost, but 75 to 80% off of what other brokerages pay. And you could use that Showcase IDX feed on other websites. So Kim, I'm wondering if they're somehow blending those two
It
together.
could be, because they did use that word showcase, and I didn't know what showcase was or IDX, so.
Yeah, it's like Eric said, it's just the feed. It has to syndicate with the MLS. So I used to have a website put out by a company called Pro Agent, and I had to purchase an IDX feed to go with that Pro Agent website and marry those together so that the properties showed up on my website. And some companies set that up for you, but yeah, that would be exciting. That'd be pretty cool.
If they did that, that mean I'd be able to get rid of my current MLS and move over to that one?
No, you still have to be a member of your MLS. The IDX is just the feed, right? So MLSs are a membership based, and at least here in Utah, we have to be a member of the board of realtors in order to be able to join and be a member of the MLS. Because like we can't just use our KV Core website and have MLS properties showing up on our KV Core website if we don't have a membership with our.
I thought she was saying it would be a national MLS. My mistake.
Well, yes, that's what she was talking about, that there's some sort of national feed they were talking about. I don't know how that's going to play out, but that's the conversation that she did mention that might happen.
I'm sure you probably only have access to it.
Yeah,
unless you're-
they didn't say that it would happen. They just said that, they're coming out with something. So I just got excited and thought, oh my gosh, what if that was what they were doing? But they didn't say that. So I'm just kind of jumping the gun a little bit there, Nate.
Perfect. I love it, Kim. It sounds like everybody's using this app. So if you don't have an iPhone, you should probably get one. But I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I end up running to Salem quite a bit. And there's some places in Salem where it's just the RMLS and not the WV, which I'm a part of. So the Portland MLS, and I'm only with the Willamette Valley, and I can't open the doors.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, bummer.
So as soon as you buy an iPhone, the app will come out on Android anyway. That's usually how it works. So,
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, I wanted to, real quick, will you click on view results and just grab an MLS number, any MLS number? Any MLS number will do. So 171, yeah. It's weird. You have to copy it left or right on that for some reason. Look at Brent and he's like, yeah, that's stupid. I don't get it either.
I've gotten many conversations with my computer about this.
Jeff, do you know how to pull up a incognito browser?
Yeah.
Yep. So the reason I do that is so it won't automatically log into my KV Core. So it's showing as a guest.
So what am I going?
We can't see it. If you can.
Oh,
drag
it just has a
over.
blank incognito. It went to another tab.
Yeah. So. Can you?
Is that what you want to see?
Yeah. Can you move that screen over? We can't see it. Let's see. And then just type in, well, you can use mine, teamyrockrrealestate.com. And then right in the city search area, you can actually you can paste that MLS number right in there. Maybe.
Oh,
There we go.
click on anything.
It's not copying. Maybe you have to type it in. That's weird.
we
There
go.
it goes. Okay, now you can just hit search. So that URL link at the top is what I copy and paste. And you can email it. And this, it may be a little bit clunky, but I will just email this to myself and then open it on my phone and copy the link from the email. I don't know how else to do it if I'm on my computer, but that's what I do. So then I just copy it from my own email and then I send it out as a text.
I do that all the time too.
I don't know how to do it
Because
anyway.
I'm not going to write it down and try and copy it. correct?
Yeah. So I just email it to myself. But so that way you're sending off that new property that just came out, that just hit your email, and you're sending it to your branded website. So now if Jeff is logged into my site, then obviously I'll know that he's looking at this property right after I send it to him, or later that day, or if he comes back tomorrow. So it is better than just using the MLS if you have a client to do that. And that's how I do that. But you have to do the incognito browser, or it'll pull you into your site logged in, and then it doesn't work. Because then when you copy that URL, it doesn't work for the buyer.
And KV Core will say, hey, you've never called this client.
Right?
Right.
I didn't know about that incognito trick. That's awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, it basically makes you as if your computer was fresh, not logged into anything. So.
That's awesome, Eric. Do we need to go back to the MLS? Are we good?
That's pretty much what I wanted to kind of cover, and then just see if anyone had any questions or thoughts on any of that. So.
I love that. It takes a little bit more time, and I haven't done it that way, but ever since I heard you talk about it, it's just awesome because you want to track the movements of your clients, especially if you only got one or two, right? I mean, you give them a little bit more attention.
Exactly. The most important
That's the
thing
only
is,
way I figured it.
that's the only way you do it?
That's the only way I figured out how to do it at first,
Uh-huh.
is to send them just a copy of the link. I figured out other things, but
And it doesn't give them an ugly link on their phone. It just shows it shows them a picture of your website with that house. So it's a really clean look to it, which is great. So the whole point of everything that we're talking about tonight really is not necessarily how to do searches properly, but more to make sure you don't miss new properties that are coming up in a tough market where inventory is low, and make sure that your clients aren't missing new properties that are coming up when inventory is low and it's hard to get, houses right now. And then finally, last is when you're winning over a new client, a new buyer, for them to know how important they are to you. And they are. It's not that you're just trying to win the client over, you're really trying to help them as much as you can. And I know we've talked about this before, and I don't know if everyone's heard me say this, but I don't do a buyer's agreement until I write the offer on my first property. That's when I do a buyer agreement. So I'm not sending out buyer agreements to people that I'm sending properties. And I've had discussions with previous broker that I was with that says, why are you doing that? You could be completely wasting your time. And my opinion was, I get clients because I do invest in them before I ask something from them. So maybe I lose a few here and there, right? But I think I gain more by doing it that way and showing that I'm willing to go to work for somebody and really try to help them find the house and show my value before I ask anything from them. And it just works for me, and everybody's different, but that's how I've always done it. I've never had a buyer agreement signed before I write that first offer, but I never write an offer without a buyer agreement either.
What's a
Because
buyer agreement?
Same package.
what's a buyer agreement? You know what a
Some-
buyer agreement is. I know it's different in Oregon, but
Yeah. We're just. Hey, a quick tip on sending that to yourself,
yeah.
and texting it to yourself, or everybody that has a phone with a texting has an email that's attached to the number. And if you go in and create your own account in KV Core and use your email, that's your text email for your phone. Do you see what I'm saying? So when you go into your KV Core, all you have to do is send yourself that link and it'll automatically text it to you and you can text it to them.
Okay. I haven't tried that before. So I'd have to test it and see if it'll log you in automatically or how that works. Because when I send it to when I just send it to myself and I open it and I don't do the incognito browser, it gives me a different link. So I want to make sure that I have the public link. But yeah, that'd be awesome. I'll try that too. Probably easier and faster than the way I do it.